Hello, my name is Goose. I am your host for God Money, where we talk about business, investments, money, and God money. This is going to be the second video of 4, and today is going to be about personal development and the importance of personal development. Personal development is one of my favorite things to talk about because it's what I've been able to do a little bit of every single day to get me to where I am today and where I want to go to accomplish my bigger dreams, my bigger goals, my bigger targets. You have to keep building on you. You have to keep working on you so that you can become the best version of you and become who you were created to be. I don't believe God created us to be average, and we live in a world where average is okay. All perspective, right? Some people don't want all the big flashy things. Some people don't want millions and millions of dollars. And so I'm not gonna talk too much about that kind of stuff, but what I am gonna talk about is the importance of going for your potential. If you don't go for your potential and you settle, I believe that you're robbing not only yourself, but you're robbing everybody else around you. Because there's so many people that you will be able to affect if you are who you were created to be. If you are doing what you were created to be. My wife, Kelsey, she's absolutely gorgeous and she's super stinking smart. She was sharing a quote with me last night about, I believe it was Steve Harvey that said it, but it said, your career is what you're paid for. Your purpose is what you're made for. I think I got that right. And I loved it. Just because you're at a job, just because you are where you are today, doesn't mean that's where you have to be forever. If you like what you're doing and you enjoy what you're doing and you feel called to be doing what you're doing, then great, keep going. But if you're miserable, you feel that burning desire deep inside that you're created for more, it's probably because you were. One of the big things about personal development is, going back to the last video, being careful what you allow in your mind. Be careful what you spend time on. Be careful what you talk about. And I don't want you going through life just, be careful with all these different things, right? But just be aware. Like watching the news, for example. This is a great topic. I don't watch much of the news. Here's why. I know the news network's job isn't to inform. The news job is to make money. And it's so sad that us as human beings are so drawn to negativity that it keeps our attention. And so that's why we'll literally watch the entire news episode every day, or read the newspaper, or be on Fox News, or be on CNN News. When was the last time you watched the news and you were like, yeah, I feel good about America? Or yeah, I feel uplifted. I feel like going out and becoming a better person and enjoying this beautiful life around us. I would bet not once. Maybe you have a different news network, and if it's full of positivity and full of great news, then please share. But for the most part, news is there to make money and to keep your attention. You wake up, you check your phone, and on it, you might go to see the news, and you see anything and everything that's horrible. Right now, we have the pandemic going on. So coronavirus is a big thing. There's this vaccine push, there's this hate speech, there's this social injustice, there's all this stuff. And yes, all that stuff is important, but watch this. This is how we start our day. We hop on, we look at crimes, who died, how much more people got COVID, what country's fighting who, all these negative things. So now you haven't even eaten breakfast yet, and you're weighted down by all that negative energy and that negative information. And then you think you're gonna go throughout your day with a big old smile, living out your purpose, doing what God created you to be, and loving people. I don't think so. Limit how much news you watch. Spend that time in your Bible. Spend that time in the good stinking book that's going to help you, and just keep adding positive blocks to your foundation. The truth is, the world needs you to be the best version of you more than you need you to be the best version of you. I mentioned books earlier. I don't find pleasure and joy reading. Harry Potter was a good one, but then when I started making the movies, I was like, the movies are definitely better than what is going on in my mind when I'm reading this book. One of the first books I remember reading, as far as being in personal development, was Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It was a mentor I had at the time, and I joined this network marketing company like when I was 18 years old. I'm 32 now, so that was a long time ago. But he took me under his wing and he said, you need to start working on you. Read this book, Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And what he teaches is the difference between what rich people teach their kids and what poor people teach their kids, broke people teach their kids. And it's not this upper class, middle class, lower class mentality. It literally is just basic principles that help guide what your life ends up looking like. And it's not poking fun at any class or anything. It's just pointing out facts on what successful individuals teach their kids and pass down generation to generation, and what people who aren't successful are stuck in a rat race and living paycheck to paycheck and are teaching their kids. There's a huge difference. It's definitely worth the read. People Over Profit was another really good book that I liked. And it just talks about the importance of treating people right, treating them well, loving on them, even when you gotta fire them, loving them through it all. And that people are more important than profits. Born to Create was another really good book. That's more Christian based. And it just talks about how like God was the first entrepreneur. He was truly the first one that created anything and everything. By the way, these are my beliefs. These are what I know to be true. If you don't believe the same thing, get what you can from this. Don't shut this video off just because you don't believe in God or you don't believe in the way that I view God. And that's one of this is a little tangent, but that's one of the problems too, is people let all of these obstacles get in their way of becoming better because of how closed your mind is. The book and the movie, The Secret, I loved it. I showed a couple people that, and they're like, these are Christian people, and they're like, why would you think that this is a good book? It mentions everything is the universe, and ask the universe, and manifest it, and the universe will give it to you. I got everything that video was saying because I took the word universe and replaced it with God. God created the universe. I believe. That's what the Bible says. So that whole book and that whole movie, I got so much from it because I got the information. Jim Rohn says it beautifully. He says, while you're going through school, while you're in a seminar, while you're reading a book, get everything you can from it and then filter it out later. Even amazing information is useless if you don't get what it's saying, if you don't grasp it. And the last point of this video is you have to find 1, 2, or 3 great mentors. I have great mentors in my life. When I was 18 is when I started to get serious about getting great mentors in my life. The ones that I follow, and I follow different people for different reasons. I look at people, successful people, whose lifestyle I like, how they treat people, how they operate their business. Are they a believer? Like there's certain criteria that I've made for myself that will allow me to do the research on a person before I start following them. And I haven't met most of these people physically, but I could tell you, I could rattle off all their information. I deep dive into this stuff because they've already done it. I don't have to reinvent the wheel. They've already done it for me. It's a formula. Success is a formula. Money is a formula. Once you learn the formula, it comes easy. You have to be a good steward of all the blessings. You have to become more than what you are today to be able to have the right mindset to manage everything. But that all comes back to personal development and what you're feeding your mind and what you're thinking about every day and what goals you're writing down, what you're paying attention to, how you're treating other people. All this stuff is a direct reflection of what's going on in here and what's going on in here. A couple of my mentors, Bishop T.D. Jakes. Look him up. That guy is straight fire. I really like him because he is a pastor and he's also a businessman. And he doesn't there's no difference with him. He treats people the same no matter what. And I love that about him. And so I grasp onto a lot of his principles. I started watching Grant Cardone when he had $250 million worth of apartments. He's now inching close to $2 billion worth of apartments. I've watched him through that growth. It's been like 6-7 years now. I've just been watching what he does. And I use a lot of his money principles in his investment strategies. I've been within 10 feet of him, but I've never physically met him yet. Never physically met Bishop Jakes. Those are my main two mentors. But if you just look around, if you just take time to write down what you want your life to look like. Because again, if you believe in the Bible, we are created in his image. Therefore, we are creators. You get to create your life. And it's amazing when you actually take time to put it to paper and create the life and lifestyle that you want and who you want to become, what your life actually ends up being like. And you don't have to watch the news. You'll have so much fulfillment from each day that you just got a new day. Your perspective changes so much. And it gives you this hunger and this appetite that you just want to devour the day. I love that, like going into each day knowing it's going to be something new. It should be something new. It shouldn't be the same thing every day. If it is, the day's not boring, where you live's not boring, you're probably boring. I love you though. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself room to grow. Give yourself time to grow every day. You need to grow a little bit every day, just a little bit. Tony Robbins that says, we overestimate what we can do in a day, in a week, but underestimate what we can do in a year or 5 years. And looking back, when I was 23 years old and had $4 to my name, and then fast forward to 29, and then became a millionaire, no way would I have thought that chunk of time, that could happen. But it was about being obedient. It was about tithing for me. It was about growing a little bit every day and making the decision every day to be positive or being negative, to be optimistic or being pessimistic. Life as all things happen for me, not to me. To taking full responsibility of what my life is looking like and not blaming other people. I hope you got something from this video. Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. This is the second video of 4. If you didn't get the first one, please go back and click on the first one. We'll be doing the third one here soon. Have a great day. Give yourself some grace. And thank you for tuning in to God Money. My name is Goose, and we'll see you next time.